Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Rishika Barua. At least 13 people have died in a cloudburst near the Amarnath cave. More than 40 people are still feared missing. This number is expected to rise. The cloudburst was reported at around 5:30 p.m. this evening. The community kitchens, tents along the Yatra route have been damaged. A senior ITBP official said that water came from both sides of the cave after it rained heavily at the upper reaches. Injured are being airlifted for treatment.
एग्जैक्टली 6:15 के आसपास पानी काफ़ी तेज़ बढ़ गया फिर वहाँ, और काफ़ी लोगों को तो निकाला तो गया, और काफ़ी सारी रेस्क्यू की जो हमारे जो टीम्स थी वो रश की गई हैं सारी एजेंसी, जिसमें कि ITBP है, उसमें SDRF, NDRF और साथ ही साथ अन्य एजेंसीज भी जो लगातार वहाँ पे काम कर रही हैं। निश्चित तौर पर एक अचानक बढ़ने से, पानी के बहुत तेज़ होने से ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि वहाँ पर कुछ टेंट भी बहे हैं, काफ़ी लोगों को निकालने की कोशिश की गई।
And NDTV's Sharad Sharma is reporting from Ground Zero. He was covering the Amarnath Yatra and has made his way back safely to Baltal. He sent us this report.
मैं अभी बालटाल पर हूँ। बालटाल उन दो रूट में से एक रूट है जहाँ से पवित्र अमरनाथ यात्रा शुरू होती है। तो ये बालटाल बेस कैंप है जहाँ पे मैं हूँ। कल दोपहर से लेकर आज दोपहर तक मैं पवित्र अमरनाथ गुफा पर ही था और बिल्कुल उसी जगह पर था जहाँ पर आज बादल फटने की घटना हुई है। लेकिन आज दोपहर तक सुबह तक वहाँ पर बरसात हो रही थी और उसके बाद मौसम खुल गया था, जिसके बाद मैं नीचे उतर आया और इस समय मैं और मेरे सहयोगी अश्विनी मेहरा जो हैं ये बालटाल पर हैं। लेकिन उसके बाद खबर आई है कि वहाँ पर बादल फट गया है। तो जो अभी तक की जानकारी है उसके मुताबिक जो विजुअल भी दिखाई दे रहे हैं वो जो पवित्र अमरनाथ गुफा है उसके दाहिनी तरफ जो है बहुत सारा पानी एक साथ बहता हुआ नज़र आ रहा है। और इसकी वजह से बात यह है कि जो अमरनाथ गुफा है जहाँ पर उसकी सीढ़ियाँ ख़त्म होती हैं, करीब 390 सीढ़ियाँ हैं, बहुत ऊंचाई पर जाकर गुफा आती है। तो जहाँ पर ये सीढ़ियाँ ख़त्म होती हैं वहीं से जो हैं टेंट, छोटी छोटी दुकानें जिसमें प्रसाद बेचने का काम होता है और लंगर जो हैं वो जो है लगे होते हैं। एक बाज़ार जैसा वो इलाका लगता है, बहुत संकरी गली है और वहीं पर जो है बताया जा रहा है कि फ्लैश फ्लड आए हैं, यानी कि बादल फटा है और बहुत सारा पानी या ये कहें कि बाढ़ आ गई है, जिसकी वजह से जो लंगर हैं, टेंट हैं और जो दुकानें हैं वो बह गई हैं। कुछ लोगों की मौत की भी जो है इसमें खबर आ रही है। उम्मीद करते हैं कि यहाँ जो है ज़्यादा नुकसान ना हुआ हो, लेकिन क्योंकि वहाँ पर टेम्परेरी स्ट्रक्चर होता है, सारा टेंट लगे होते हैं, तो इस वजह से आशंका है कि नुकसान ज़्यादा वहाँ पर हुआ हो सकता है। मैं और मेरे सहयोगी अश्विनी मेहरा खुशनसीब थे कि हम दोपहर को ही बालटाल के लिए नीचे उतर आए, लेकिन उसके बाद ये हादसा हुआ। उम्मीद करते हैं कि कम से कम वहाँ पर नुकसान हुआ हो और जिन लोगों की जान गई है उनके लिए, उनके प्रति हमारी संवेदनाएं।
And heavy rains continue to batter coastal districts of Karnataka. The Met Department has sounded a red alert in Uttar Kannada, Dakshin Kannada and Udupi districts following incessant rains. Schools and colleges have been shut as a precautionary measure, and the SDRF and NDRF have been deployed as rain is expected to continue for the next few days.
It's hope against hope for residents of Navanda village in the deep interiors of Udupi district, about 400 kilometers from west of Bengaluru in Karnataka.
The boat has just arrived and there are at least about 3 to 4 families who are waiting over here with the groceries to go back to their homes. In fact, the place that they're standing right now is a road, but this is completely underwater.
These residents at Navanda village have been stranded inside their inundated homes for a week now. 51-year-old Lakshmi is waiting for her brother to pick her up on a raft to take her back home.
ಯಾರು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ಒಬ್ರು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ನಾವೇ ಬೋಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಏನು ಬೇಕಿದ್ರು ನಾವೇ ಬಂದು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಬಿಟ್ರೆ.
47-year-old Saku Pujarati in Kodru is carrying cattle feed via a raft. Santosh Pujari, Saku's son, aged 29, is a driver, but due to the rains, he has been using his raft to help people travel from one point to the other.
ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಕುದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ಎನಿ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಉಂಟು, ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ದೋಣಿ ಸಹ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ನಮ್ಮದು ಸ್ವಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ದೋಣಿ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ದೋಣಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ದನ ಸಾಗಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಏನಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪಂಚಾಯತಿಂದ ಏನೇನು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ.
Residents of Navanda village have lost hopes because it's been for over 2 decades that they say during every monsoon they are underwater. The residents, all that they say is, we do not want politicians to come and beg for votes. We want them to be held accountable. We want them to be giving us solutions and not leave us in lurch. In Udupi, with camera person Kumar, Shrija for NDTV.
Shinzo Abe, Japan's youngest post-war as well as its longest-serving Prime Minister. The man who transformed Japan's economy, defense and foreign policy has been assassinated. The 67-year-old Abe was giving a campaign speech in Nara ahead of this Sunday's upper house elections when at 11:30 a.m. local time, 2 gunshots were fired. Abe collapsed. There was smoke at the site. An image showed the ex-Prime Minister with injuries in his neck and torso. He was flown to hospital where he reached with no vital signs. Doctors say he was shot twice in the neck and the bullet penetrated his heart. They tried to resuscitate him and did a blood transfusion, but Shinzo Abe was declared dead at 3:05 p.m.
There have been gun wounds in 2 locations in the neck, and there have also been subcutaneous hemorrhage that has been observed.
Abe's killer is suspected to be Tetsuya Yamagami, a 41-year-old local resident of Nara. He was caught immediately. The weapon is believed to be a homemade shotgun. Weapons are very hard to buy in Japan. Tetsuya, seen here earlier at the spot, was in the military, the Maritime Self-Defense Force, for 3 years till 2005. He did not try to run away and is being held for questioning. NHK quoted the suspect as telling police he was dissatisfied with Abe and wanted to kill him. Japan's Prime Minister condemned the shooting as barbaric and malicious.
It is barbaric and malicious, and it cannot be tolerated. I would like to use the most extreme words available to condemn this act.
Incidents of gun violence are rare in Japan, where handguns are banned, and incidents of political violence or political assassinations are almost unheard of. Shinzo Abe leaves behind a legacy of leading Japan for nearly 8 consecutive years. He helped pull his country out of economic malaise, but fell short of his most cherished goal, making Japan a normal military power. Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV.
And Shinzo Abe's assassination is a huge loss for India. He was considered a true and dedicated friend, credited with transforming ties between New Delhi and Tokyo. One of the first leaders to look at India as a major Asian democratic power. Prime Minister Modi has announced a day of national mourning as a mark of respect.
Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe attending the Ganga Aarti in Varanasi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's constituency. These pictures from the 12th of December 2015, when Shinzo Abe, the then Prime Minister of Japan, visited India, are evocative of his special relationship with India and especially with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In 2017, he visited Ahmedabad and laid the foundation for India's first bullet train.
बहुत बहुत बधाई, बहुत बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं।
As Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe visited India several times, in 2006 and thrice in 2014, 15 and 17. He was chief guest at the Republic Day Parade in 2014. In 2021, India honoured him with the Padma Vibhushan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has publicly addressed him as my dear friend, while Mr. Abe called the PM his dependable friend. Under him, the ties with India prospered. There were common areas of collaboration: civilian nuclear energy, security concerns in the Indo-Pacific Ocean, economic partnerships and joint ventures in infrastructure. In a rare gesture, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Japan in 2018 for the India-Japan Annual Summit, Shinzo Abe invited PM Modi to his private holiday home in the picturesque Yamanashi for dinner. Clearly, Indo-Japanese ties were warm and the two premiers shared a more than cordial personal rapport. It's interesting that Shinzo Abe, who came from a political 1957 when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister.
भारत और जापान के रिश्तों में और मजबूती है।
Shinzo Abe referred to this when he addressed a joint session of the Indian Parliament in 2007. Shinzo Abe will be remembered for infusing a new warmth and energy into Indo-Japan ties.
आज का दिन मेरे लिए अपूरणीय क्षति और असहनीय पीड़ा का दिन है। मेरे घनिष्ठ मित्र और जापान के पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री श्री शिंजो आबे अब हमारे बीच नहीं रहे हैं। आबा जी मेरे तो साथी थे ही, वो भारत के भी उतने ही विश्वसनीय दोस्त थे। मैं एक बार फिर दुखी मन से मेरे दोस्त को श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं।
And while the big political focus is the fight between the two factions of the Shiv Sena grows, with rebels signaling that they're going to be staking claim to the party symbol, Eknath Shinde is using his clout by getting ex-councillors of the now dissolved municipal bodies to switch to his camp. This, as a defiant of Uddhav Thackeray, has dared the BJP and the rebels to face elections by calling for midterm polls.
आणि म्हणून मी पुन्हा एकदा सांगतो की हे असे खेळ करत बसण्यापेक्षा परत एकदा विधानसभेची निवडणूक घ्या। जर आम्ही चुकलो असू तर लोक परत सांगतो हे मी मागे बोललोय।
Uddhav Thackera's challenge to party rebels and Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. This after 66 out of 67 ex-councillors of the Thane Municipal Corporation switched to the Eknath Shinde camp. Another blow to the Thackere-led Shiv Sena. On Thursday, 32 ex-councillors of the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation also joined Eknath Shinde. Several Sena MPs are likely to vote alongside the BJP, as Uddhav Thackeray says he's yet to decide on the stand for the presidential elections on 18 July.
शिंदे साहब जब भी हमने बात की ये 10 दिन में, तो उनका ये कहना है कि हम शिवसेना में हैं और आखिरी तक शिवसेना में रहेंगे और हिंदू हृदय सम्राट बाला साहब ठाकरे का जो हिंदुत्व है साहब का, उसको आगे लेके जाएंगे।
Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is showcasing his growing clout after becoming Chief Minister. Shinde claims to be the Shiv Sena and will stake claim to the party symbol after the Supreme Court decides on the disqualification notices, legality of whips, floor test and the governor's invitation to the rebel camp to form a government. Thackeray hit back saying the Shiv Sena's election symbol, the bow and arrow, will remain with his party.
एक चर्चा चाललेली आहे ती म्हणजे शिवसेनेच्या चिन्हाबद्दल. मला त्याबद्दल तुम्हाला मुद्दामून मी बोलवलं. धनुष्यबाण. मी माझ्या सैनिकांना बोलताना हेच सांगितलं की कायद्याच्या दृष्टीने बघितलं आणि कायद्यामध्ये जे काही नमूद केलेलं आहे घटनेमध्ये आहे त्यानुसार धनुष्यबाण शिवसेनेपासून कोणी हिरावून घेऊ शकत नाही.
The Congress too is firefighting to keep its flock together and is considering action against 11 MLAs, including an ex-chief minister who skipped the Shinde Trust vote last Monday.
The Thackeray camp moved to the Supreme Court once again on Friday, this time questioning the governor's invitation to Eknath Shinde camp to form the government. The court will now be hearing this plea along with the other pleas, which includes the disqualification plea as well as the legality of the whip issued on 11th of July. And the court's decision will be a key factor to know that who will be getting the party symbol as well as the control of the party in its present form. In Mumbai, with camera person Praveen Jirohit, Sohit Mishra, NDTV.
The Alt News co-founder Mohammad Zubair has been given interim bail by the Supreme Court. He's been given 5-day interim bail in the case that was filed against him for hate speech by the Uttar Pradesh police. But the journalist will continue to stay in jail because he hasn't been given bail in another case which was filed by the Delhi police. His lawyers, remember, had cited a threat to his life.
Two journalists fighting for their freedom in the Supreme Court both got relief, but the details differ. Fact-checker Mohammad Zubair has got bail in a UP police case in which he has been arrested for inciting religious sentiments. The police had left Sitapur for Bengaluru with Zubair in the morning to take his phone, but after the bail order by Supreme Court, they returned. The crux of the UP police's case against Zubair is calling 3 Hindu clerics hate mongers. Zubair's lawyer in the Supreme Court said Zubair exposed information of those who gave hate speeches. Zubair has been kept in jail, but haters are roaming free. He also said that Zubair's life is in danger. However, India's additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju appeared for UP police. He said Bajrang Muni is respected Mahant of Sitapur. He has millions of supporters. Zubair called Bajrang Muni a hate monger. Isn't it a case of provoking them? India's Solicitor General, also appearing for UP police, said that people like Narsimhanand, Bajrang Muni were arrested. There was no case on Zubair for tweeting on those people. There is a case of deliberately posting controversial posts to destabilize the society. This is a relief to Zubair, but he will now have to stay in Delhi jail because Delhi police was the first to arrest Zubair for hurting religious sentiments with a tweet. Zubair is yet to get bail in the Delhi police case. For the second journalist, Rohit Ranjan of Zee, who's accused by the Chhattisgarh Congress government for misreporting on Rahul Gandhi, the Supreme Court has barred any coercive action. Earlier, when the Chhattisgarh police went to take him into custody, Ranjan was detained, then bailed by the UP police on a complaint in the same case. With Saurabh Shukla, Osama Shah for NDTV.